welcome back to Let's Play Capo 2. You might be wondering, it's like, wait, why is it in blue? I did record this for about 6 minutes, and by record this for 6 minutes, I meant I rambled on about my day. For 6 minutes! It's like, no, I don't like talking too much about my personal kind of life, my issues with my anxiety and all that. I hate dragging on about shit like that. Because one, it's depressing, and two, it feels a little too personal to share to the entire world. Which, well, there's not really many people that watch this, but you get the idea. As I've said before, I suffer with some pretty bad anxiety, depression and all that. So I get some help with stuff like that here and there, and like it's been increasing on like more help added to that now, and like support group and stuff like that, and I just rambled on about it. But let's actually focus on this rather than what I did today. Let's just say I felt very awkward. We bowed to each other. In fact, I felt very awkward about the whole fact that I recorded talking about how awkward I felt. Well, I'll say this much though. I started out the day waking up from a vivid dream or nightmare, and I felt more like I woke from a coma. So that was pretty much like the point where it's like, this is gonna be a weird day for me, isn't it? And I was right. I only saw them as far as the front door. They were right next door, after all. Yeah. I promise. And this was the point where I stopped. She's always on top of these things. Good night. I mean, oyasumi nasai. Phew, what a day. What a day indeed. Let's continue anyway. I decided to take a bath and go to bed. At first What the hell was that? At first I'd better lay out the futons in the spare room for Koko and Nanaka. I pulled him out of the living room closet and hauled him over to the guest room. This should be good enough. I set up the futons in their room. They could adjust them if they wanted. I could hear their voices echoing from the bathroom. Were they bathing together? I tossed the pillow I was holding aside and dashed towards the bathroom. What? Yoshiyuki がしょっちゅう使ってるお風呂場にしては綺麗だね。男の人が使うお風呂場ってもっと汚いと思ってた。Oh? Wow! They really were taking a bath together. Ding, 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 ding. Perfect alert. Ding, 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 ding. Oh man! I always kept my bathroom extra clean. Enjoy it as much as you like, ladies. Wait, they both in the bathtub? I'll never understand that about girls. Why is it that they have baths together, but you wouldn't see guys having a bath together? You'd be like, what? That's gay! And if two girls have baths, it's like, oh, just perfectly normal then. Why is there a difference? Baths aren't really overly that big usually, so how... Well, you can fit two people in a bath, but wouldn't it be a little uncomfortable depending on the size? Oh shit. I was starting to imagine things like Wataru. Did you have bug-like eyes and drool, or... No, actually he has pervy-looking eyes. What kind of mischief could those two innocent girls be getting into behind closed doors?
ダメ、ナナカ。声漏れちゃう。
is that
大
music?
丈夫。義行くんには聞こえないって。いや、そんな、やらしく触らないで。綺麗よ、ここ。もう、そういうナナカだって、ここ、こんなにして。ダメ、そこ弱いの。
And then they start touching each other there and there. And nosebleed! Damn it! Why the hell did I say that out loud? I accidentally spoke too loud.
義行くんやらしい。もう、出るに出られないじゃない。
They started yelling at me from the bath. I apologized silently and beat a hasty retreat. Well, remember in Clan After Story when Tomoya had like an opportunity to peek on Nagisa when she was in the bathroom? He actually had the option. He didn't go straight for it. You got to decide. In this case, like, I'm going anyway. I know that's nothing going on, but I feel so restless. And you're the same person who denied that you were a pervert a while back as well. There were two pretty girls sleeping under the same roof as me. Who could stay calm at a time like this? If Wataru was here, I bet we'd have some crazy adventure. We would have got together and tried to peep inside the bathroom or checked out their lingerie. Though, that would probably be illegal. Illegal? What? I resolved not to tell him that Nanaka and Koko stayed with me. He'd probably make a fuss about it. If something happened, it would obviously cause all sorts of drama. And if anything didn't happen, he'd be pissed off at me too. He'd be angry that I wasted the opportunity or something. Okay. Wow!
お先に。もう、お風呂場の前で何してたの？
Nothing, just picking up the laundry. I stared at them in their pajamas. I'd never seen them like that before. Oh man, they were both so freaking adorable!
あ、そうだ。ここに来る前にコンビニでアイス買ったんだ。食べる？食べる！
I'll have some too. Nanaka got the ice cream from the freezer. They were individual cups of vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. The girls chose the ones they liked, and I took the one that was left. Eating cold ice cream around the warm, cozy kotatsu is nice.
そうだね。ささやかな贅沢だけどね。
The three of us continued to talk all night. We talked about school, class, and the band. About Anzu and the class president. About Wataru and Suganami. We talked a lot and stayed up late.
はあ、そろそろ寝ようかな。
What time is it?
そうだね。
It was now well past midnight. We turned off the TV and I got ready to take my bath. When you say well past midnight, specify what time. Is it like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or what?
それじゃあ義行。おやすみなさい。おやすみね。
Yeah, good night. Feel free to rearrange the room as you need it. Why did Nanaka word it differently there? Saying the same thing, it just had a bit of a different sound to it. That's what always throws me off about some of this kind of thing, man. Different ways of saying it. The room felt really quiet after they went to bed, though I suppose English is much more of a bitch when it comes to that. So many words that pretty much have similar or even the same meaning or same pronunciation. Just goddamn, the English language is a clusterfuck. It also felt colder. I was used to being alone, but why did it always feel this way? I guess that's what they mean by girl power. They're vivacious and chatty, quick to anger and laughter. They're exhausting to be around, but they're also warm and smell good and they seem so soft. Shit, I can't stop thinking about what happened in the bathroom. Even though nothing actually happened outside my perverted imagination. Well, I'm going to take a bath and go to sleep. I turned off the light in the living room. It felt even colder still. Huh?
かわいいこれ。パンダのぬいぐるみ。これがないと眠れないの。うんうん。ナナカのベッドにいつもあるぬいぐるみだよね。
As I went out into the hallway, I heard their merry chatter from their room. They were having one last round of girl talk before they went to bed. Girls really are amazing creatures. You know, I always find it weird how, like, people will refer to, like, a specific thing, just like male gender, female gender, just refer such interesting creatures. Why? They're the same species, pretty much, though. Yes, but they are different gender, unique creature indeed. I smiled grimly and made sure the front door was locked. I turned off the light in the hallway, then headed towards the bathroom. This isn't the bathroom! I rolled over in my bed. I had been tossing and turning for a while. Right, left, up and down. Up and down? Yeah, whatever. I can't sleep. I'll join the party, man. I think the same thing happened to me last night. I remember I just randomly sitting the opposite way in my bed, kinda died Coke in one hand, like to the side as if it were, like, I just like deep in thought, like someone, like from a movie or some shit that's just thinking deeply or just talking or some shit, holding like a glass of wine or something in that way they do to the sides. It felt like that. I was just thinking, it's like, I can't remember what I was thinking about, but it was probably, like I said, probably about problems in the world, just like, what is there I can do for this? And I keep reminding myself, just like, there's not much I can do about that, if anything, so why do I keep thinking about it? It's just, god damn it, why do I keep thinking that? It wasn't a surprise. How could a man sleep knowing Nanaka and Koko were under the very same roof? You know, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Imagine if I was also there, and he's like, man, how can anyone sleep with them downstairs? And just be like, man, how can anyone sleep knowing the world's such a shithole? Just like, what's that got to do anything? It's got, well, nothing to do with us. Well, it has everything to do with everything. No, it doesn't. It's just, shit happens. But, oh fine, you go thinking about them. I'll go back to thinking about the world. Thank you very much. Seriously, I hate that about me. I don't even remember when I actually ended up thinking so much about the world. Well, it's probably when I started reading the news again. God damn, I hate that. Their chatter had quieted down by the time I got out of the bath. They were probably asleep by now. It's just no use. There was no way I was getting to sleep. What could I do? Let's see. I'll get something to drink in the kitchen. I was heading for the kitchen when I heard an odd sound. It was suspicious seeing as the lights were off. Makoto, is that you? Is someone breaking in? Yeah, I remember that. Even though it was freaking years ago. Maybe some of you will get the reference there. I looked around for something to use as a weapon but couldn't find anything. I made a fist and took on an awkward fighting stance. I edged my way into the kitchen. Humming?
牛乳発見
Light was pouring out of the fridge. I saw a familiar face in the faint orange light. I turned the light on so I could talk to her. Nanaka? You know, this would have been a lot more interesting if he just, like, upon seeing her, doesn't recognize her, and he just, like, shouts out, he's like, Die, intruder! Bang! The combination of my speaking up and the lights suddenly coming on caused her to jump in surprise and bang her head on the refrigerator door. Are you okay?
大丈夫見つかっちゃった
She smiled awkwardly. What are you doing here?
何ってなかなか寝つけなくて
Nanaka, 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 Nanaka. Do you not realize that in someone else's house, if you're going to take something from the fridge, you should ask permission first? But then again, friends don't do that, do they? It's like, I'm just gonna raid your fridge, doesn't wait for an answer. Well, actually, they probably won't even ask that.
牛乳があったら温めて飲もうかなって思ってさ。
Yeah, same here.
よしゆきくんも眠れないの？
Yeah. We both smiled, but Koko really was asleep, so we'd have to keep it down.
じゃあ、よしゆきくんの分も温めるね。
Thanks. Nanaka took out a small pot and poured out enough milk for both of us. She warmed it up over low heat. As we waited, all we could hear was the soft sound of the bubbling milk.
昨日、今日と楽しいね。
Agreed.
私が泊まりに来たのって、もしかして迷惑だった？
What makes you say that?
いや、なんとなく。
I'm honestly glad you're here. She seemed happy to hear
そっ
that.
か、よかった。
After a few minutes, the milk started to boil. She poured the milk into a couple of mugs.
お砂糖ってある？
I'll get it. Oh, that mug. What the hell is that supposed to be? Are all animals in this visual novel world look this goofy? I mean, there's Harimo. I wouldn't be surprised if... What the hell is it supposed to be? Some kind of... rabbit? Dog? What? I don't get it. I'll get it. Funny, it's like, I don't get it. I'll get it. I grabbed the sugar pot from the shelf and handed it down to her. I drank mine without sugar. I took a seat on a chair inside the kitchen.
おいしい。
Yeah, we became relaxed. I couldn't remember the last time I spent a sleepless night with someone like this. Maybe on a school trip.
さっきね、ココにね、
Huh?
もしかしたらよしゆきくんが来るかもしれないから、部屋の鍵は開けておこうねって言ったの。
What? I choked on my milk. It almost came squirting out my nose. What are you saying?
いつまで経っても来てくれないのも。
Just, we were so disappointed. We expected better of you. Wait, what? You expected better of him, so you expect him to show up? Stop joking. I'm never able to take you seriously. She laughed innocently. Good grief. There's that word again. New Year, same old Nanaka. She always takes her jokes too far. But I sort of like that about her too.
ね
Can you imagine how she'd be like on the internet? People just like take everything she says seriously and then be like, no, he's just joking, guys. See? Look, I even put like a facial expression at the end of what I'm saying. That indicates that I was just joking, guys, honest.
え、よしゆきくんって、ココのこと可愛いって思ってるでしょ。
What's this? She was just full of surprises today.
だって、
Well, tonight.
私も思うもん。ココ可愛いって。
She is pretty adorable, I'll give you that.
ココはね、純粋で素直で、少し臆病で、でも、一生懸命まっすぐで。
Not the most daring person. Rewind. Can I come over your house to stay? Said by Koko. She's the one who suggested this whole sleepover in the first place. And that was before Nanaka even said, I'm joining in too because I don't trust you.
私はそれが羨ましいし、時々、妬ましくも思う。
At least I think that's what it was.
私もココみたいになりたいなって。そんなことばかり。
That happens among guys too. I have some friends who are smart and good looking with good personalities. Some of them are more popular than me and I envy those guys and even feel jealous of them. even though they're my really good friends. Wait, which one of them is the popular one? We only know Wataru and Suganami, and none of them seem to be popular. Well known, but I don't know about like popular among like loads of friends or anything.
Yoshiyuki-kun.
Me personally, I'm the type that wouldn't want like a shit ton of friends, because at the end of the day, it'd feel more like acquaintances, really, wouldn't it? You can't hang out with dozens and dozens and dozens of friends. Imagine going on outings with dozens and dozens of friends. It'd look like a miniature freaking army. I'd prefer to have like a few close friends, you know?
私もココのこと大好き。あの子を傷つけたくない。なのに、もしかしたら傷つけてしまうかもしれない。それがまだ怖いの。
Everything will be okay as long as you stay true to yourself.
え？
No matter what happens, you'll do what you think is right. And if that happens to hurt Koko, I'm sure she'll understand. It might take some time, but I'm sure it'll work out. Nanaka put down her mug.
ありがとう、Yoshiyuki-kun.
I thought she was about to just shove it in his face like, you insensitive git! What?
正月早々、なんだかヘビーな話したのに、救われたよ。
I didn't do anything special.
うんうん、迷いが吹っ切れそう。ありがとう、Yoshiyuki-kun.
She gave me a big smile as she spoke. I guess I really did cheer her up. I didn't know what was troubling her, but I was glad that I was able to help her. Koko's not an idiot. No matter what happened, she would know what that Nanaka wouldn't hurt her intentionally.
Yoshiyuki-kun に話聞いてもらったし。じゃあ、そろそろ本気で寝ようかな。
You weren't really trying before.
うん、まあね。
You know, I remember a couple of days ago, I think last week actually, I was trying to sleep because I had to get up early, so I was like, okay, just go to sleep early for once. Like freaking nearly midnight I was gonna sleep, and I think I've said this before, maybe even in the previous part. It took till freaking 5 freaking a.m. in the freaking morning before I got to sleep. It was ridiculous. I was trying to sleep the entire time as well, just like, you know, this is why you shouldn't force yourself to sleep. It never works out. Just sleep whenever. Don't even think about sleeping. Just sleep. Don't think, feel, as Chie would say. She washed her mug and looked at me.
それじゃあ、おやすみなさい。
But I guess that's the problem with me, because I think way too much. Yeah, good night. Nanaka left the kitchen. I could tell that she was walking as quietly as possible. I heard her gently opening and closing the door to the guest room. Hitting a friend, huh? I couldn't remember ever doing that before, but it was possible I had done it without realizing it. Without realizing it, you say? I wouldn't be surprised, you are pretty dense. Or maybe it was a part of my destiny still to come. At any rate, what I told Nanaka was basically a platitude, an ideal. In the real world, it could lead to tragedy. In a visual novel, it could also lead to tragedy, but because of the visual novel, it might not be so bad. Their friendship could even come to a messy end. They might even decide they never want to see each other again. You know what else could usually leads to a kind of end? Is, well, you know how they're all in a band and all that? Like in real life, if two band members get together in a relationship, that relationship goes south and it's just like they start to hate each other, the whole band suffers as a result, you know? It's just like, that's why they usually be like, don't get like romantically involved with any other member of the band. It's a bad idea, man. Shit could go downhill real fast the second that relationship just comes to an end. Because they usually end on a bad note, rather than just kind of mutual, kind of just like, yeah, it didn't work out, but yeah, let's just continue making music. Let's just be friends. It rarely works out that way. And then the band just goes, bloop, and all the band members are like, God damn it, those fucking idiots, why do we have to suffer because of you? But I held out hope that someday they would come to an understanding, even if it took a long time. After enough time had passed, maybe they could look back at it in a new light. I remember something Sakura-san told me. She was proud that I was starting to understand how other people feel. Did that mean that I wasn't considering other people's feelings before? Yeah, that's the thing that I think about quite a lot as well. I look at the world and think, you know what humanity lacks? Understanding. We don't try to understand each other. We take one look at each other, one look at something that gives off an impression of them, and think, yeah, I've got this person figured out. No, you fucking don't. You can never fully understand a person unless you are that person. The least you can do is to try to understand the person as much as you can, if necessary, you know? You don't just like, I don't know. I just feel like we just kind of look at each other and just like, ah, yeah, that guy's an asshole. That guy's alright. That guy's a dumbass. That guy looks like, he looks like he's gay, yes, that one. She's pretty hot. She's clearly a freaking bitch, and you could get it wrong. You can't really, just look at a person and think, yeah, I got it figured out. You've got to actually learn to understand them, not just simply point and say, yep, I know your story. And if they were to try to explain a bit about themselves, you'd be like, la 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 la, not listening, and that is why I feel that's quite a bit of contributes to the world being a shithole, because lack of understanding. Well, I guess no one can do that when they're a kid. When I was a kid, I remember standing under the cherry blossom tree. When I was a kid, I was a little asshole. If I ever somehow was able to meet my younger self, I'd smack him in the face, and then I'd be arrested for smacking my younger self in the face. How weird a crime would that be? As I thought about it, a flash of light exploded like a firecracker inside my head. My knees started shaking. I cradled my head in my hands and worked to steady my breathing. This happens all the time. What do you mean? When I tried remembering my childhood, my head would start to hurt and I couldn't breathe right. We haven't heard this before, but I never knew why. Maybe I would talk to Sakura-san about it and get a checkup at the hospital. I should go to bed now. I washed my mug and decided to head back to my room. Clearly something in his past is probably been blocked out, or maybe there's more to it, I don't know. I wasn't expecting something like that to happen right there. That came out of nowhere, pretty much.